and so it's not a heavy tractor. If you put wide tyres on it, you're spreading that weight out over a greater area, so less pressure at any given point. How's that look? We got them, yay! Now we need to turn around, and there's another row. Oh, look, round about there. Or a Valtra G, for example. Very, very small, light tractors that can run the small sprayers. But you're usually putting a tank on the back and a tank on the front, which does add the weight to the vehicle, and is not going to be good for compaction over the time. We're using a trailed sprayer. Now, is that any better? The problem with trailed sprayers is typically they have narrow tyres, so the pressure points are higher even if the weight is lower. But you would have to have some serious all singing, all dancing simulator to be able to figure out, okay, what's the damage that I'm causing with compaction from the tractor over what's the loss of yield by not dealing with the weeds, by what would be the benefits of using herbicide and damaging the crop with the herbicide, but getting rid of all the weeds, so not losing yield to weed presence. It's a lot of variables, and obviously the game, it's not really a simulator, an accurate simulator. It's fun. It's a fun thing, and a lot of people just play Farm Sim just to have fun. Some people do like a little bit more realism than Giants generally gives us, and will add mods that add features that the game does not include. I did hear someone sarcastically suggest that the reason why spraying is best is because John Deere is a sponsor of the precision farming DLC, and oops, saved, we've got them. Okay, so how does the score on that field now look? How do I look at the field score? We have to go closer. We have to be on the right thing. So that's 90. So we're now up to 2/3 as opposed to 1/3. Obviously, we're still at 9%. It's made no big difference on this field. We need to go and do tractoring things. So I'm going to take this back to the yard. Because this tractor needs a service. And before we give it a service, I am going to take a look at a thing. So I have heard that if you buy a base vehicle just for price as is, and then add features to it after you've bought it. So go into the store, buy the vehicle, take the vehicle around to the workshop, get a bigger engine if you want, put different tyres on it, put GPS on it and all the rest of it. The maintenance cost remains the same. If you install them when you purchase it, the maintenance cost is higher. So, for example, Class Axion currently costs $1,538 to repair. Customize. GPS, yes. 15,000 added. Hang on a minute, let's go back. What was it? 1538, 1538, 1538, 1538, 1538. Add that, customize, yes. Okay. Where'd it go? 1538. Adding GPS to it did not change the cost to repair the tractor. Adding GPS at the purchase time adds to the cost of repairing the tractor. So, with that proven, it's best to how's the other stuff we've got running? The weight's a little low, 87%. The tractor's fine now. Let's back up. Yeah, so if we go into purchasing and I want to buy a tractor, we'll buy that one. The repair cost is based on 162,000. Let's put big engine in it. Let's put wheel weights. Let's put wide wheels. Let's put a front loader attacher on it. Isaria Pro, GPS. Now the repair costs are based on 244,000 purchase cost, not 162. It would cost me exactly the same amount if I paid 162 for the stock tractor and then take it to a workshop and add all the things I want to it. Yes, it's best to buy a stock tractor. What's of questionable benefit is if I buy a used vehicle, because the used vehicle can have things on it and the cost is based on everything that's on the tractor, so your repair costs might be higher. I've had tractors that came with panoramic roofs and what else can you have? Panoramic roofs, front loader attachers, wheel weights and all the stuff. I do not. No, I'm not a modder. I don't know that anybody here is a modder, but I do not know how to speed up processing. What you could do, there is a mod called, I believe, Industrial BGA. You could have a look at that, and if you can interrogate the XML files, you might be able to find out. I figured out capacity. Yeah, it's part of the whole production thing. As I said, the Industrial BGA and I think the Mini BGA mods process way faster than their capacity. And yes, I use the upgradable factories mod. So you can take a mod, or you can buy a production facility, and then for the same price, you can double its capabilities. Pay the same price again, and you double the abilities. So you can end up with a far higher production. What side of the road am I supposed to drive this on? Okay, but yeah, you can. The production upgradable factories mod is brilliant. Yeah, if you're playing on Carbston and you don't want to edit it, I would suggest you do the upgradable factories mod, which I believe is on the mod hub. I've got it loaded, so 95% of the mods I'm running are on the mod hub. There are one or two that aren't. Courseplay, while it's on the mod hub, has received other updates, so I tend to go to GitHub to download their latest version. think there's another mod that I run that I do download from GitHub rather than the mod hub. And then I also have harvester stop, which when the harvester reaches full capacity, it stops. And when I'm streaming, I'm frequently reading text and not paying attention to what I'm doing. And the last thing you really want in that situation is for the harvester to go ploughing through your crop and killing it all while you're talking to people on the chat. So that's a mod I'm really appreciative of. It's not available on the mod hub, but it does mean that I can get out there and just pay no attention to driving. Okay, so actually cycles per hour. Let's go. I don't have any productions. It's kind of a problem, isn't it? So does it really say cycles per hour? I know at the beginning it used to say cycles per day. So 200 or cycles per month. So if cycles per month is 240 cycles per month, it will do the recipe in the production 240 times in any given game month. So if you're playing 2-day months, it'll be 120 per day-night cycle. Let's raise that. Let's select the thing and lower that. And let's turn cruise control on, because really, that one, auto width. A plus heading, set A, 90 degrees, go back, turn on the row, and we have go. So yes, if you go from 240 cycles to 480 cycles, you have doubled the processing speed of the thing. The other way to increase the speed is to change the recipe. So if the recipe says 2 units of flour makes 1 unit of bread, 240 cycles per month, you're getting, you're using 480 litres of flour and making 240 litres of bread. So by going to 480, you're using 960 units of flour to make 480 units of bread, litres of bread. Or if you change the recipe to say 10 units of flour makes 5 units of bread, you're also doubling it that way. Yes. Yeah, what Taylor just said. Okay, this is going to work out a lot easier because I'm now controlling where the weeder goes. And go gadget. So yeah, 240 cycles turns 1,000 litres into 1,000 something else, then 240,000 litres per month. And yes. So the input, output and number of cycles affects the total production. What it doesn't affect is the capacity inside. So, and that was something I was saying about the industrial BGA that I believe Disturbed Stimulations wrote and is on ModHub. It will process 100% of the capacity of the BGA in 16 hours. So you have to fill it up twice a day, which is, if you're playing the min-max numbers, that just makes it frustrating trying to keep up with it. Conversely, what I tended to do looking at that one was, I don't care if it finishes the capacity. I just care that I can get the production is sufficient, not that I'm achieving maximum levels of everything. Most productions you can stock up stuff. I did in my last playthrough. I had the dairy leveled up, I think 3 times, and I had 320,000 litres of milk at the dairy, which would take me 4 game years to process through. And it's like, okay, what am I going to do with all my milk now? Oh yeah, I didn't bother getting the pumps and hoses. Yeah, it's an interesting little pack. It's kind of like the what was it? The manure system that Wopster does, I believe. I used that in Farm Sim 19, and while it was awesome, you could load up your sprayers and empty the sprayers into the IPC that the fertilizer came with. So you didn't generate more and more containers of fertilizer if you only had partial stuff. The hoses were Farm Sim physics. Farm Sim physics can be a huge pain in the butt. And as we discovered on Maypole Farm, there is a problem with bales. They stick together. They stick on. I've stabbed something with forks on a telehandler or something, lifted up the bale, put it in a trailer, dragged it off, and as the trailer has driven away, it's dragged my telehandler with it, because the forks never let go of the bale. And I think the only way around it was to reset the equipment back to the store. You could drop the bale fork off the front of your telehandler and it would float in the air and follow the trailer, and then it would crash into buildings and just cause all sorts of problems. There is a problem with bales, and I don't know if it's the mods I'm using or whether it's a fundamental issue. I've seen Daggerwin have the problem where he's picked up bales and then the forks have just remained attached to them no matter how far he backs off. And the Anderson wrappers, the stationary wrappers that make the big bale snake, I've had that bale snake up and wander across the fields like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man from Ghostbusters. Which, while quite amusing, is a problem because there's nothing you can do about those bales rampaging across your fields. They don't damage anything, they just there they are, rampaging across your fields, and you can't get them, and you can't do anything with them, and you've just lost them. Now, fortunately, I run with the Easy Developer Toolkit, so I fixed the problem by destroying all the bales on the map. And then I had the Anderson bale loader. Where's that? This thing. 24 bales on it. Yep, did that. And then it went into orbit. Like, the ground is way down there. And we were still climbing with the tractor. And we left the map. And I tabbed out of the tractor. I could not tab back to the tractor because it was outside the play area and just, well, just, yeah. For this specific reason, I am using an auto load flatbed trailer for all of my bales, and I'm only making bales for contracts. So I go out to the field, I make the bales, I scoop them up with the auto load trailer, I dish them off at the delivery point. Done. I don't unload them to the ground. That was a problem I was having in Maypole. Even using an auto-load bale trailer, I would put the bales on the ground. I would try and drop the bales on the ground. Sometimes they'd fall through the ground. But if you're dropping them at a delivery point, they deliver. The nice new bale shed that Giants gave us, that you drop bales in the load point. And you drop bales in the load point and they get stored in the shed. We can probably look at that one too. Where is it? Easy sheds. Oh, where is it? What's it under? No, it's not that. Silos. That thing. Yeah, bale and pallet storage. You can drive up to that, you can put it in an unload spot, and the bale or the pallet appears at the back of the shed. You can come up to the shed's little wrench icon and unload the bales. Well, I did that, and all of my wrapped bales appeared under the ground. My hay bales, my straw bales, they appeared in stacks outside in the delivery point of the storage facility. The wrap bales, they delivered into the delivery point under the ground. So you could see the tops of the bales wobbling against the ground. Just sort of, okay, that's unfortunate. But that was the mod, the patch, the mod that Giants added that started all of the issues I've had with bales. And consequently for this playthrough, I'm not doing bales except contract. And we have a bale wrapper and we have a square bale for hay now. And I just run around with the auto-load trailer. I grab them all off the ground, so I don't touch them with pallet forks or anything like that. I take them to the delivery point. I empty them in the delivery point. No bugs doing that. But because my intention was at one point to get some cows, I'm not using bales to feed cows with. I'm going to be using loose material, which is why we've got 2 silage bunkers, although one of those seems to be having problems with the Wholecrop silage that we just put in it. I was thinking I might need a 3rd silage bunker anyway, so I might delete the 2 I have and place a few of them. I don't know how I'm doing on this contract because I'm really not paying attention. Anyway, it's done, down and go. So, yeah, and the other thing I've used is the little TLX truck with the auto load box on the back. And that you can use for delivering produce that appears on pallets, and it unloads the pallets into the back of the truck, which is nice. Unfortunately, it's limited to 7,000 litres at the base, or there's the cheap, which is something like 80,000 litres capacity. And initially I just went for, I'm not going to cheat with this, and then I was producing so much flour, it was just, yeah, I'm going to use the cheap option. And mostly because I didn't want to spend all of my stream time just delivering, making 20 deliveries from the flour mill to the bakery. I can do it all in one run. The problem with it was, of course, is it only allowed you to take one commodity. So if you had flour to move and bread to move and honey to move, and it's sort of, I have to make one trip for each one. I can't carry all a mix in that little truck, but kind of utility. I'm sort of mixed opinion of autoloaders. I'd like to hold to the realism thing, but I understand that me spending 3 hours stacking 100 bales on the back of a trailer can get very boring. So if I can just get the task out of the way, and back in Farm Sim 17, what I used to do was I would take an auto-load truck down to a field, and I would also take down a telehandler with some bale forks, and then I'd run around the field with the truck and just say, the worker is loading my truck. See, look, there's the telehandler with the bale forks on it, ready to go. And you can do so many things with a worker, you just can't run a telehandler and pick stuff up. Buttons, press the buttons. How are we doing? I must admit, we haven't been paying attention, so